His favorite bartender smiled at me as she handed me my drink. He was here last night. With another one. My stomach dropped as she pulled out a napkin covered in lipstick kisses, 5 different shades. That night, I waited until he fell asleep, then lined up every napkin on his pillow. When he woke up, I simply whispered, "Which one was your favorite?" His face went white as he realized he'd finally been caught. I, 34 female, had been dating this guy, Darren, 36 male, for just over 4 years. We lived together in Denver, Colorado. I don't even know where to begin because everything about this feels like a bad movie now. Darren works as a bartender at a cocktail bar downtown. I won't name it, but it's one of those moody places in Reno with overpriced drinks and a DJ on weekends. I work in IT. Quiet job, mostly remote. We had opposite schedules but made it work, or so I thought. He always told me he loved that I let him be him, that I wasn't jealous or clingy. I gave him space. I trusted him. I wasn't the kind of girlfriend who checked phones or questioned late nights because I didn't want to be that person. But the weird stuff started happening a few months ago. He'd come home late, later than usual. Like 3:30 a.m. instead of 2. Said they closed late, had to clean, had to help a friend. Then came the new colognes. Different scents each week. Ones I didn't recognize, and definitely not the ones I gave him. He started carrying his phone everywhere. Even to the bathroom. It never used to be like that. Before, he'd leave it charging on the counter and not even care. Now? It was like it was glued to his hand. One night I saw a flash of a name on his screen while it lit up. Just K. He flipped it over so fast it was like muscle memory. I asked once, casually, "Who's K?" He laughed. Said it was a vendor. A regular. Some girl who comes in and tips well. I didn't push. I just nodded. I didn't want to seem paranoid. That's what he made me feel like, that asking questions meant I was insecure. So I let it go. Fast forward to last Friday. I went out with coworkers after a long, rough week. We hit a few spots and eventually ended up at the bar where Darren works. He wasn't on shift, which made sense. It was his day off. Or so I thought. Talia was behind the bar. She's this beautiful, quiet bartender, the kind of woman you instantly know is smarter than she lets on. I'd met her a few times before. She was always polite. We weren't close, but she knew I was Darren's girlfriend. She smiled when she saw me, but something was off. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile someone gives you when they're about to tell you something you won't like. She made my drink. Set it down slowly. Then she leaned in, lowered her voice, and said, "He was here last night, with another one." My heart stopped. I said, "Another what?" Talia didn't blink. Just said, "Another girl." Not the one from the week before. She stared at me. Like she was checking if I already knew. I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. I felt frozen. Cold. Numb. She reached below the bar. Pulled out a folded napkin. And on it? 5 lipstick marks. 5. Different. Shades. One was bright red. One was plum. One was nude. One pink. One dark maroon. She said they were kissing napkins. Being loud. Showing off. Like it was a joke. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't even speak. She gently slid the napkin toward me and said, "I'm sorry. You deserve better." I took it. Folded it. Put it in my purse. I left the bar. I walked to my car in silence. I drove home shaking. I parked in our garage. Sat there for 15 minutes staring at the wall. And then I went inside. Darren was already home. On the couch. Watching some rerun. Laughing like nothing happened. Like he hadn't just been with a handful of women the night before. I asked him, "Good shift last night?" He looked at me and said, "Yeah. Quiet night." Quiet. I said nothing else. I sat beside him. Pretended to watch the show. Smiled. Played along. But inside, something snapped. I waited until he went to bed. He passed out pretty quick. Whiskey sleep. Loud snores. Dead to the world. I grabbed the napkin from my purse. It was wrinkled now. A little smeared from being folded, but you could still see them. 5 kisses. 5 colors. 5 women. I didn't even have to say anything. I knew. I went into our kitchen, carefully cut the napkin into 5 squares, 1 for each kiss, and placed them on clean white napkins from the drawer. I walked into the bedroom. Laid them in a row on his pillow, right by his head. Then I sat at the edge of the bed. I waited. Around 4:45 a.m., he shifted. He blinked. Saw the napkins. He didn't say anything at first. Just stared. Then I leaned in and whispered, "Which one was your favorite?" His face went pale. Like every ounce of blood left his body. He looked at me. Opened his mouth. Closed it. Nothing came out. And I just stared. We haven't talked about it yet. I haven't kicked him out. I haven't even said I'm leaving. But he knows. I know he knows. I think that's what scares him the most. He didn't sleep after that. He just laid there, stiff, pretending to breathe normal. Like I couldn't tell the difference between someone sleeping and someone hiding from reality. I got up before sunrise. I made coffee, fed the cat, showered. Normal things. Just quieter. He stayed in bed. Around 9 a.m., he finally came into the kitchen. I didn't look up. I didn't say good morning. I didn't pour him coffee. He stood there awkwardly, rubbing the back of his neck like he was trying to buy time. Finally, he mumbled, "So, what is this?" I didn't say anything. Just nodded toward the table. He looked down. I had laid the 5 napkins out again, this time flat, clean, pressed between 2 books all night so the lipstick marks were clear. Visible. Bright. Loud. He sighed. "This is stupid." My head snapped up. "Stupid?" He rolled his eyes. "You don't even know what happened. You just, what? Assume the worst?" I stared at him. "The bartender told me," I said. "She saw you." Said it wasn't the first time. "She's lying. She had the napkin. It's not mine." He sat down across from me like we were about to have a casual breakfast fight. "Babe," he started, that fake calm tone he used whenever he was cornered. "You know how it is at bars. Drunk girls come in, act wild, do stupid sh*t. That napkin could have been anything." I said nothing. He leaned in, voice lower now. "You trust some bartender more than me? You mean Talia? The one you've worked with for 2 years." He blinked. He knew I'd caught that. "Why would she lie?" I asked. "Maybe she likes you," he said. "Maybe she's jealous. Maybe she wanted to stir something up. People are messy." I looked him dead in the eye. "She said it wasn't the same girl from the week before." That hit him. His mouth twitched. I added, "So, are you saying she just keeps making up lies? Week after week?" He didn't answer. He stood up, paced the kitchen, tried to act like this was just some misunderstanding he'd fix with the right words. But then came the twist. He turned and said, "Okay. You want honesty? Maybe I flirted. Maybe I gave some attention to the wrong girls. But nothing happened. I didn't sleep with anyone." I laughed once. Just one sharp breath. "And the lipstick?" He shrugged. "So what? They kissed napkins. You think that's proof? That's what you're building this around." And here's the part that really made my blood go cold. He smiled. Not a warm smile. A cruel one. He said, "You're not gonna leave over a napkin. Be real." That's when I realized he thought I was bluffing. All of it. The silence. The napkins. The whisper on the pillow. He thought it was just a game. A performance. He still thought he had control. I didn't respond. I took my coffee and left. I didn't say where I was going. I just drove. I ended up back at the bar. Talia was there. Polishing glasses. Quiet as usual. She saw me walk in and gave a small nod, like she knew why I was back. I sat at the far end. Didn't order anything. She eventually walked over. Set a glass of water in front of me. I asked, "Was it only 5? She looked around, then leaned in. "Honestly," she said, "that's just what I saw." I felt my stomach twist. "And there's more," she added. "One of the girls? The red lipstick one?" She came back after she left. Asked for Darren's number. Said they were supposed to meet again. My throat went dry. "I didn't give it to her," Talia said. "But I think she already had it." We sat in silence for a minute. Then she said, "I didn't tell you to hurt you. I told you because I was tired of watching it happen." I nodded. I believed her. Then she said, "Do you have his second phone?" I blinked. "What second phone?" She looked at me, eyebrows up. "You didn't know?" I felt like the floor shifted under me. "No," I said slowly. "What do you mean second phone?" She pulled out her own phone, scrolled through something, and showed me a screenshot. It was a public Venmo transaction from Darren. Sent to a woman I didn't know. The note said, "Thanks for last night," and next to his name, a different handle. Different profile pic. Different number. She said, "This is the phone he uses when he doesn't want his real number tied to stuff." I felt sick. "He leaves it in his gym bag," she added. "Or at the bar. I've seen it." "I thought you knew." I didn't. I drove home in a fog. I didn't even know how I got there. When I walked in, Darren was on the phone, not his regular phone. A smaller one. Black case. Barely used screen. He froze when he saw me. I stared at him. No words. Just walked over, held out my hand. He didn't move. So I reached into his hoodie pocket and pulled it out myself. He tried to grab it back. Too slow. I turned it on. No password. First message that popped up was from someone saved as it read, "Can't wait to see you again." Should I wear the red again? I looked up at him. His face was white. His mouth opened. Closed. I walked past him. Took the phone. Walked into the bedroom. And now I'm sitting here. On the bed. Writing this. The 5 napkins are still on his pillow. Now, I've got his burner phone too. And a long, long list of names I've never seen before. I don't know how this ends yet, but something tells me this isn't even the worst of it. So I'm sitting on our bed, holding the burner phone. He's standing in the hallway, not saying a word. He knows he can't spin this one. This isn't lipstick on a napkin. This is a phone full of proof. Real names. Real photos. Real messages. One of the contacts even had a saved selfie of him with her, his arm around her waist in the back office of his bar. Another had a voice note. I didn't listen. Not yet. I didn't want to hear him whispering things he never said to me. I didn't even look at him when I spoke. I just said, I want you out. Now. He mumbled something about needing time. Said, let's talk first. I said nothing. Then he had the nerve to say, you're overreacting. You're doing too much right now. That's when I finally snapped. I stood up, walked right up to him, held the phone an inch from his face and said, you really want to tell me I'm overreacting when I just found out I'm the side piece in my own house? He didn't reply. Just stood there like a coward. He started grabbing a few things. Told me he'd stay at his friend Aaron's place for a couple days. I didn't stop him. I didn't even watch him pack. But here's where things take a turn. A few hours later, I started going through the burner phone properly. I wanted to see just how far it went. I had to. That's when I saw the calendar app. It had entries. Color-coded ones. With initials. Each one labeled with vague titles like gym, dinner run, late shift, or just J, 9 p.m. One caught my eye. From 2 weeks ago. S, rooftop, 7 p.m. I remembered that night. I had been sick. Real sick. Bad migraine. Darren had picked up a shift because someone called out. Now I knew he was at a rooftop bar with S. I tapped on the entry and scrolled to the location. It was a restaurant in Cherry Creek. I checked the gallery. Found a photo from that night. The woman's face wasn't clear, just her hand on a wine glass, bright blue nails, and his hand resting over hers. But here's the actual gut punch. The next calendar entry, tomorrow night. Appointment, 6:30 p.m. I didn't think much of it. Another woman, probably. But then I checked the notes app. That's where I saw a whole list of names. 6:30, blood test. Urgent. Wait 3 days. Confirm. Delete. My hands started shaking. I stared at that for a full minute, just not moving. Then I checked the texts again. Searched clinic. Boom. A message popped up. It was from a number with no name saved. Hey, I went to the clinic like you asked. You better not ghost me this time. I read it 3 times. He had someone go get tested for him. And didn't even respond. Now I'm panicking. I didn't know how many women there were. But I knew one thing, if he was asking someone else to get tested, and then telling himself to wait 3 days, something was wrong. I called my doctor that same day. Booked a full panel for the next morning. I wasn't waiting. That night, Darren texted me from his main number. Are we really doing this? You're not even listening to my side. Don't throw away 4 years over some dumb sh*t. I didn't answer. Then he switched to guilt. You really want to be alone at your age? We were building something. You think any of those girls would stick by me the way you have? That one actually made me laugh. Yeah, I stuck by him. Like a fool. Then came the worst one. If you go to the doctor and find out something, don't come crying to me. You brought this on yourself. I nearly threw the phone across the room. He was scared. That was clear. But instead of admitting he screwed up, he was trying to make me scared too. But it was too late. The next day, I went in. Got tested. I told the nurse everything. She nodded like she'd heard this kind of story 100 times. She asked me, do you feel safe? And that was the first time I realized. I didn't know the answer. Not just physically. Emotionally. Mentally. I hadn't felt safe in this relationship for a long time. I just didn't realize how deep the damage went. While waiting on my results, I kept digging. And here's another twist. There was a contact on the burner phone labeled T. Talia. I didn't want to believe it. I opened the messages. They weren't romantic. Nothing flirty. Nothing sexual. But they were weeks old. And they were about me. Darren, she's starting to ask questions. Don't say anything. T, not my problem. You should have told her the truth. Darren, just cover for me. One more time. She's too emotional right now. T, this is the last time. So, Talia knew. She knew before she handed me the napkin. Maybe even weeks before that. I felt sick again. She looked me in the eye and said she told me because I deserved better. But the truth was, she only told me when she had no other choice. When the lies caught up to both of them. I guess I wasn't just betrayed by Darren. I was betrayed by everyone who stayed quiet. That's where I am now. Still no ending. Just waiting. Waiting for test results. Waiting to decide what to do next. Waiting to see just how many layers this betrayal really has. And I'm starting to think. I've only scratched the surface. 3 days after I took the tests, I got the call. Negative. Everything. Clean. The nurse sounded relieved. I cried when I hung up. Not because I was scared anymore, but because I'd been holding my breath for so long I forgot what it felt like to finally let go. That same day, I made a decision. No more waiting. No more quiet. I was going to confront Darren. Not just him, all of it. He thought he could lie his way out, gaslight me, guilt me, shame me into staying. But I wanted him to see what it looked like when someone stops being scared of the truth. I waited until Saturday night, his busiest shift. I knew the bar would be packed. I walked in around 9:30 p.m. Alone. Calm. The place was loud, full of music and clinking glasses and people pretending life was perfect. I found Talia first. She saw me and froze. I didn't say anything. I just gave her a look. Not angry. Just finished. Then I turned to the bar. Darren was there, shaking a cocktail with his fake charm turned all the way up, laughing at something a woman said. I waited until he made eye contact with me. He flinched. But I didn't move. I slowly pulled the burner phone from my pocket, held it up just enough for him to see. His eyes widened. Then I walked straight to the middle of the bar, stood by the glass rail where the whole room could see me, and said, loudly but clearly, if any woman here is dating Darren, or thinks they are, come talk to me. I've got something to show you. The music kept playing. People stared. Someone laughed nervously. A guy near me went, damn. Darren's face turned red. Then white. He stormed out from behind the bar and came at me fast. What the FCK are you doing? He hissed, grabbing my arm. I pulled back. You want to keep lying? I said. Go ahead. But I've got the receipts now. Actual ones. With hearts and kissy emojis and pickup times. He looked around. People were watching. Phones were out. This was getting real, and not in the way he was used to. That's when she showed up. The girl from the photo. The one with the blue nails. She walked right up to us. Looked between us. Then said, wait. You're his girlfriend. I said I was. She blinked. He told me you were his roommate. That you were getting evicted. I didn't even laugh. I just turned to Darren. His mouth was open. Nothing came out. Talia walked over. Quiet voice, tight face. She whispered, you should go. You've said enough. I turned to her. You mean now that I'm ruining the show you both helped keep running? She swallowed. Didn't answer. Then Darren yelled, loud and desperate. You don't get to F*King humiliate me like this. He was shaking. Eyes wild. His voice cracked on the last word. I said, I'm not humiliating you. I'm just putting a mirror in front of you. Whatever people see, that's your reflection. The girl with the blue nails backed up. She looked like she might cry. Another girl stepped forward. One I didn't even know. She just looked at Darren and said, you told me she was your cousin. Silence. Then someone in the crowd muttered, this dude's dead. People were recording. Darren looked like he might pass out. I walked out. Calm. Straight-backed. I didn't even look back. He didn't follow. The fallout came fast. He texted. Called. Apologized. Switched from rage to begging in record time. Please talk to me. You ruined my job. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I was lost. My mom wants to talk to you. Yes, he brought his mother into it. She actually called me. Said she was sorry. That he has issues. That he never really had a good example. I told her he's not a child. And I'm not his rehab. I spent the next week packing. He came by once, just stood outside the apartment crying. I didn't let him in. Talia texted once too. Just said, I'm sorry. I left her on read. The girl with the blue nails, her name was Selena, messaged me later. Said she got tested. Said thank you for speaking up. Turns out I wasn't the only one scared. I was just the first to make it loud. It's been 3 months now. I moved to a smaller place. A little studio near City Park. It's quiet. Peaceful. The nights still feel weird. Like something's missing. But I'm learning that peace feels awkward at first when you've been surviving chaos for years. I haven't dated. I'm not ready. Sometimes I think about that moment at the bar. Standing there, heart racing, while a room full of strangers saw my world fall apart. But weirdly, that was the moment I got it back. I stopped being scared of losing him. And started saving myself. I don't know what Darren's doing now. I don't care. He lost me. Not because he cheated. But because he thought I'd stay anyway. The real betrayal wasn't the napkins, or the girls, or even the lies. It was that he believed I didn't matter. But I do. And now, I finally believe it too. Which one was your favorite? The one that finally made me leave. And never look back.